Hello, guys. Thank you very much for joining. I am Ganesh Nayak, and I help finance professionals to get better in their career. And I also help students preparing for FRM, CFA, and SCR exam. And today we are back with one of my students' interview who has been able to clear the October 2023 SCR exam. He's going to be talking about his journey, what challenges he faced, and how he was able to manage and clear the exam. Again, the purpose of this interview is to help other students who are preparing on their own or who will be going for SCR exam in the future, that what other students are doing and to help them to get motivated for the exam. So that is the overall thing. Let us start with the discussion. So Janmejoy, thank you very much for taking out time and talking to us. If you can give a brief about yourself to the audience.
Thank you for inviting me for the meeting. I like the background that you have shown here. It's very different from the videos that we have seen during the preparation. It's refreshing. To start with myself, I'm Janmejoy Mukherjee. I work as a regional manager at South Pole. South Pole is the world's biggest carbon offset seller. And my company name is also mentioned in the SCR book, especially on page number 1, 3 South Pole Group. So I'm the regional manager here. I take care of the whole South Asia, Middle East, and Central Asia. So whatever renewable energy or carbon development is happening, we generate issue the credits and sell it to the buyers. And that's how we generate the revenue. That's our main business model. And on top of it, we are also exploring new initiatives like green hydrogen, carbon removals, geoengineering, everything that I have studied in SCR Chapter 1, we are doing actually in our real life.
Okay, wonderful. So now, when did you decide to go for this SCR exam, and how was your journey started?
Basically, I'm a computer engineer followed by a master's in international business. I started my career in IT followed by consulting, and I accidentally got into this sector. Because the job role was very interesting, the domain was very new, and I knew it's going to be something, climate tech is going to be something bigger than artificial intelligence. So I had the artificial intelligence background. I just wanted to build up on the climate side. I got into South Pole in 2022, but my interest got generated in late 2021. And when I came into this sector, I realized that though my skills are good enough to bring in business, generate revenue, but my foundation needs to be strengthened more. And that's how I decided to look for many courses, and SCR was the best aligned with my plan of developing my skills. That's why I chose SCR.
Okay. And you attempted the exam first time in April 2023. So can you talk about that?
No, my first attempt was in October 2022.
Okay.
And at that time, it was a self-paced preparation.
Okay.
And after the results got declared in late November in 2022, I thought that I should take more time. Maybe I'm new to this sector. That's why I need to get some practical applications and all. And I took a year time to decide how I'm going to plan, how should be my strategy. And when I was planning that time, I was not aware that there was a guidance available for SCR exam, because it's a new exam, not much study materials available outside, and very limited number of question banks were there. The first attempt was self-paced, just like board exams. I prepared the book, marked it up, read it thoroughly, but what I lacked was that the application of those knowledge and concepts in those questions. And that's how I was looking for, and I got in touch with you, and thank you.
And when did you started your journey with us? Which month approximately?
My exam was in October 2023. I started in somewhere around mid-August 2023.
Okay. And you started solving the question bank along with that, right? So what was the overall time frame that you gave for the October exam? That means when you actually started the preparation again, and how was your daily time given to that exam?
So when I first enrolled with your course, I was very excited because I got exactly what I was looking for, that every chapter followed by a question bank, which your course provided. And that helped me in applying my concepts that I already read in the last attempt. And I was just building up on my foundation in applying those concepts.
Okay.
So after office hours on Monday to Friday, I would give 2 to 3 hours, 3-4 days in a weekday. And on weekend, I would give 3 to 4 hours in studying the PPTs, tutorials, and the SCR book, followed by the questions of each chapter. I didn't touch the question bank at the end, practice papers, or the GARP until the first week of October.
Okay, but then you started out in mid of August only. Am I correct?
Yes, somewhere in the second week of August, I started reading the tutorials.
So roughly 2 months proper preparation, 2 to 3 hours on a weekday basis and 3 to 4 hours on a weekend basis. That was the
Yes. On a weekday, 4 days I would give 2 hours on a weekday, 4 days, and on a weekend 3 to 4 hours.
You were taking any gap in when solving the question bank? Because suppose you're watching the video and then you're immediately solving the question bank, or you were taking some gap?
No, my strategy was first to listen to the video lecture, followed by the notes in the PPT format, and then going back to the SCR chapter, reading it thoroughly, connecting the dots. Also, which are the things I lacked last time and which are the things I learned new or I have got depth knowledge this time. Followed by a day break or a 2-day break, I would go and solve the followed up questions of each chapter.
Okay, so on an average,
I took time to process the knowledge, come in the office and discuss with my colleagues, this happens like that, and have you read about it? They also talk about it. So there are a lot of things that are in the book. You read it based on your imagination, especially chapter 6, stress testing and scenario testing, but in real applications, it's a very broad thing, and only people who have applied it can give you a real knowledge that this is how you should be thinking and this should be an approach.
Got it. So on an average, 1 chapter per week or 1.5 chapter per week was the focus when you were going for the exam?
Well, it depends on my retention power, because every time I reach the 3rd chapter, I would forget the concepts of 2nd chapter. Every time I reach the chapter 5, I would forget few concepts of chapter 1. Though chapter 1 was basic, but for SCR GARP, every word, every letter is important from the SCR book. So what I did was that I revised every chapter on an interval of 2 weeks.
Okay. And the question bank, you had around 4 quizzes for each chapter. So did you solve all the 4 in one go, or did you just bifurcated it?
The practice papers that were mentioned from your end, I solved each practice paper in one go, keeping the timer in front of me. Okay. And in every 2 days, I used to solve 1 practice paper in the first week of October.
Okay. Achha, so you started solving the question bank later, October?
The practice papers. Just before the mock GARP paper, there were 4 practice papers.
The chapter-wise questions?
No, the separate mock.
Achha, the mock papers provided by us. Okay.
Yes.
That you did in October, but the chapter-wise questions, you were doing it along with the videos. Okay, that was okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And now when you were solving the overall, was there any break in between in your entire 2-month stretch in terms of break in consistency?
No, only on the festivals, Janmashtami and those things, or if there is a bit more stress on the work side, hardly 2 or 3 days would go in that. Otherwise, I didn't give a break more than 3 days.
Okay, perfect. And then when you started solving the mock papers, I'm talking about my mock papers, okay? And what was the average you were getting in terms of the score with respect to 80? Out of 80, how much was the average score?
I have this funda about this competitive exam that if you are even 50% correct of the total number of questions, whether it's CAT, SAT or anything, you are up to the end line. So when I was solving these 80 questions, I was somewhere around 43 to 48, I was getting right answers.
Okay.
But practice papers, I think the level was a bit better, and there were few answers which I was not confident. I was trying to get it confirmed from you in the group and all. Mm-hmm. So I was thinking somewhere around 48 to 52 would be a good score. Though in the practice paper, I was getting somewhere around 43 and 48. But in the mock GARP that was given, I solved the to 1. I was somewhere around 48, 50.
And 2023 mock, did you solve that GARP sample paper?
Yes, I solved that one, not the 2022 one. Because
Acha.
2022, 2023 GARP mock paper has a variation in the level of application.
Right, right. So now when you went to the exam, day before the exam, what was the difference in terms of your confidence for previous attempt and this attempt?
Yeah, the difference between October 22 and October 23 was I had more knowledge. I had more capability to apply my knowledge and concepts in application. And the biggest part was I was confident this time. In the previous attempt, I knew that I have read it. I have done my responsibilities and duties, but I was not sure that I have studied for the exam. I have studied for the knowledge, but I was not ready for the exam in my last attempt. But this time, I studied for the knowledge, concepts, and on top of it, I was ready for the exam.
Okay, perfect. And then when you went to the exam, how was the first half an hour in terms of dealing with the questions?
Well, what I was hearing about the exam, the feedbacks that the question application this time is hard, it's on the tougher side, it's harder than the mocks that has been provided. But when I went to there, I found the question level pretty much same as the mocks and didn't find it very difficult. It was easy to comprehend and relate to the concepts and studies that I have read in the SCR book. I was quick in connecting those questions with the concepts that I read in the book. So that was an improvement. And it was a moderate level of toughness.
Okay. And did you find any calculation-based question in the exam?
Yes, there were 2-3 questions. Even someone knows a basic average calculation, they can do the intensity weighted curve. But however, it was mentioned in that market risk and all. So I did it and it was good, not very hard calculations. I don't think even anyone ever do a calculator in the GARP SCR exam. You can just do it even if you know basic maths.
Okay. And when you went to the exam, the 3 hours was sufficient for you. The timing was not an issue, right?
No. I finished my exam in 2 hours 45 minutes. I didn't mark anything flag or for review. I started as the sequence from 1 to 80 and my questions got over 2 hours 45 minutes and rest 15 minutes I was just checking, have I missed anything? Should I relook anything? But then no, it went as planned.
Okay, perfect. And then when, in terms of the overall exam, so theory questions, can you just tell us, I mean, was the question very lengthy or were the options very lengthy? What was the structure, overall structure?
The questions are made lengthy to kill your time, a bit confuse you, maybe that's the strategy of the question setup. But my strategy was when I read the question, I always read the last line of the question first. That always used to give me an idea where this question is going to conclude. And after reading that last line of the question, I would start reading from the beginning of the question. And then that's how I structured in my mind that this is the concept they are trying to test, and this is the story they have put up. These are the main points. Okay. And that's how I select the options.
Okay. And when you completed the exam, out of 80, was there any number in your mind that, okay, I'll get this much correct?
See, I felt the difficulty same as the GARP mock that I solved. And I was expecting the same kind of range, somewhere around 45 to 52. And I think I was pretty much there. My marks could have been there. The quartile I saw 2 were poor. The rest of them were excellent or fair.
And you were kind of confident when you came out of the exam that, okay, this time there is a good chance of clearing the exam.
Yes. Before going to the exam, I was in a thought of do or die. After the exam, it was just do. There is no die.
Okay, wonderful. And now when the results are out, what has been the reaction of people around you with respect to your success?
See, I work in a company where people are in advanced stages of this knowledge and they know what is SCR. It's something they have already mastered We are now working on hydrogen, green ammonia, the Article 6.2 sectors. So I live and work in an environment where everything is very normal, these kind of concepts to them. And when I mentioned few of my colleagues who were thinking or planning to do SCR, they were motivated that someone among us has cleared it, and they were happy for me.
Okay, wonderful. And if you could give 3 tips from your experience of how to prepare and clear SCR exam.
Number one is thoroughly read the SCR GARP book, because even if one line can turn up to as a question in the GARP exam, SCR exam, even a small short line. For example, what is the simplest way of doing physical scenario test? Is the box thing, black and box thing. It's written somewhere in the case study in some one of those chapters. But when you read the book, you won't find it. You have to go through the case studies carefully. Not all case studies are important. Few case studies are important, that from where the question keeps coming repeatedly. In my last attempt, I did a mistake. I didn't read the external readings recommended, which I did this time. And I was completely prepared, whatever was recommended, whatever was suggested by you, all the videos and all. And at least skim through it. And number one is, of course, by heart, go through each and every concept of SCR GARP. It doesn't matter whether you remember or not. Even a small impression of that study can help you get to the right answer. Number one, don't just study or read, which I did in my first attempt. Make sure you apply those concepts, because the whole exam checks the fundamentals of whether you are able to apply it on. No one will ask you straightforward ABC, then what's D. And the number third is that keep the consistency, because retaining those ideas, concepts is very important for GARP. Because if chapter 6 is very tough, which I read and studied based on my imagining what could be the scenario, what could be the stress. There is also variation chapter 1, which is very easy, but there are a lot of concepts, like what is the point called between 2 ice ages, what is an 11-year gap of ice ages known as, these kind of things. Yeah. And especially portfolio alignments, what are the science-based criteria, how do you define TNFD, not the TCFD, the TNFD, the new nature-based task force disclosure. Yes. These are the we should be, because all these have 3 criteria. The 3 points to qualify TNFD is this, the 5 points to make PRI is this. So you have to remember those points. And when after all your preparations, when the last day you're thinking, it should not get mixed. You should be very clear. PRI, 6 concepts, scientific science-based targets, 5 concepts, points, portfolio alignments, 3, like that. You should be very clear. And yeah, the last 3 chapters are very important. Because these chapters actually test the concepts that you have read in the first, second, third chapters. And also from an industry point of view, for which SCR and GARP is preparing you, these last 3 chapters are very important, because these are the concepts which are actually getting used real time in real world from industry sector.
Okay, wonderful. So when this conversation is going to be very helpful for a lot of students who are thinking of giving the SCR exam and planning to give it in the next attempt, and they will get motivated. They will also understand your journey in terms of managing the overall preparation, the 2 months time, and how you dedicated time. So it will be easy for them to go for the exam now, because right now the information is not that much available in the market, as in people who are giving the exam, or like you said, question bank and all. So all of these things will definitely help them. So thank you very much for taking out time and talking to us and giving insight on your journey. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for helping me out and preparing me and supporting me. And thank you for inviting me for this interview. Thank you.